Today we've got something new from our sponsor Hansshow. They have sent us one of these LED light dash kits. In fact, this one says it's 61 inches long for the Cybertruck dash. Obviously not what's pictured on the box here, but let's see what's inside. Inside looks like we've got a quick set of instructions where you need to scan the QR code either for the written instructions or perhaps for a video. And need help, of course, their contact information, always handy to have. And then inside we have what looks like the strip itself, the little wedge tool, probably some of the tape, then the audio sensor so it can pick up the ambient sound and then adjust the lights with the ambient sound. So let's open up this package and take a look at what's inside. Okay, now that I've taken everything out of the big bag, some of the items are still individually bagged. I guess I didn't know that it actually included a little USB hub. Now, I already have a USB hub in my Cybertruck, so I can have, separate USB thumb drives for, different light shows and things like that. But that's nice that they include one. Not sure if I will need this or not. I might tinker with it and see. Then, of course, this item here has an extension cable, and this is the sensor that reads the ambient sound and will trigger the lights based on that sound. So that would be something that would be, as you can see, with the USB-A plugged into that hub. One of our little tools. We always have these. Quite a collection of those. Now this is the actual long strip itself here that ends up in this cable, which then fits to this cable that then plugs into again to the USB hub, either the one that they've supplied or, like I said, I'm probably going to try it with my own first. And then the adhesive tape, double-sided, so it would go on the back side of this LED strip and then up underneath the dash. So let's take this out into the truck and look at getting it installed. Okay, I'm out in the truck. You can see I've opened the glove box. I actually have, you can probably see the wire back there that goes into the USB port on the truck. I actually have a little USB hub myself that just brings this out kind of further into the glove box where I can get at it to put, the USB sticks in easily enough. So I went ahead and plugged in the wire, which I just have it draped over here for the moment. Obviously, I'll have to run it behind some of these plastic pieces. And I don't have it tacked up yet, but I did just kind of put it out on the dash. So I've got to go over there and start on that end and put the adhesive strip and bring it back this direction. But I first wanted to see if it would power up. Of course, the next thing I'll probably want to do is plug this in. And then I also want to download the app from my phone to see about controlling this light strip before I get it all set up. So why don't I plug this in next and then see about getting the app. Okay, just for, again, testing purposes, I went ahead and plugged in this sensor, and then you'll notice it has a separate USB-A female receptor that comes off here, and then you actually plug the light strip instead of plugging it directly into the USB port, which you could. You just wouldn't have any of the control from this ambient sound sensor. But anyway, it plugs inline, so that goes to the sensor, and then the sensor goes to your hub, so you really only are taking up one spot on your hub. Again, the strip is just laying on my dash at the moment, so let me get the app and then see what I need to do to enable this sensor and to change this strip and have it do some different effects. Okay, as you just saw, interesting, see as I'm speaking, how it's lighting up. It's actually using the microphone in my phone for controlling what it does on the light strip when I do like the animated different sound sequences opposed to just a solid single color. I thought that it was this device here, but this must actually just be the Bluetooth receiver between my phone and the app that's on my phone. Speaking of which, I'm gonna have to put the name of the app into this video and the article, because I had the hardest time finding it. I had to go to Handshow's website, read some instructions there, and only there did it mention the name of that application. All right, here I'm just holding the strip up. I had put the car into the green. I've got this strip green. Now I can control the brightness and make this much brighter. I can also tweak the color a little bit for maybe a little bit closer color match. They have color wheels. The application is called Lotus Lamp Space X. So LOTUSLAMP Space X. It's certainly available for Android. I'm assuming it's available for Apple as well. That's the app that you need to control these lights. Well, so now that I've shown that everything's actually working, I'm going to get out that adhesive strip and actually affix the light strip up along the top, and then I can come back and show a little bit more about it. Okay, the next step of what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this adhesive strip. So they give you the roll of the red adhesive strip here, and I'll start at this end furthest away from the glove box, and I'll first attach the adhesive strip to, and you can see it closely, like it's the black portion of the LED light strip. And then once I have that all attached, then I'll peel off the other side, that red paper, that red kind of plastic backing, and then I will stick it up underneath there, and I'll show you that. But just for a moment here, I just want to show you, I'm going to start, I'll roll this whole thing out until I get the adhesive strip on, and then I'll come back and start fixing it underneath the ledge of the dash. Okay, now that I have the adhesive strip all the way down attached to the LED strip itself, then I just need to peel the backing away, and then I'm going to adhere this just up underneath the edge. Maybe the best way to think about it is, you know, you've got this kind of front edge here, and just to put it to adhere to the bottom side of that. I don't really think it would be good to try to adhere it to the plastic of the vent. You know, it just seems like a much better place to adhere it just underneath the lip of the upper portion of your dash. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to need both hands a second to peel that off and to start affixing it to the dash, and then I will come back to the video. Just to quickly show you, I'm fixing it underneath here as I'm peeling this red backing tape off and then working my way along the top of that ridge. Okay, as you can see, I've made some good progress. I've gotten to about here. I'm continuing to just peel that back slowly and then push this up and adhere it to the bottom. Have a little bit more to go. Okay, as you can see, I have it now stretching all the way across the dash. Might need to just situate it just a little bit in some areas, but the wire is going to go there, come down behind here into this gap where I took this little plastic end panel off. You can take this off by moving this rubber strip out a little bit, getting your plastic wedge tool in there, and then taking it out. And then I'm going to feed it in here where I will bring it back in and into the glove box. So let me do that by hand here a second, and then I will come back. Get back to this end over here again before I put the plastic plate on. You can maybe see that wire that's running from up top, and then it goes down here and goes off into the glove box. So again, really easy to do once you just take this little end plate off, which I'm going to go put back on now. Show something real quick. The truck has been parked for hours. I did turn that light off earlier using the app, but now as you can see, it's back on again. The app is not running on my phone, not running in the background, anything like that. So at some point, I guess because it's plugged into the USB in the glove box, these things just come on their own. So I'll have to see if there's any sort of setting in the software that would change that. I mean, I'm sure not a big deal, not a huge battery drain or anything like that, but you might simply not want that on. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. Show you how to use this Lava Lamp X software. So it's right here. I'm going to open that up. All right, and notice here's my particular light strip that is installed into the car. So I'm going to click on that. It takes me here. It's all dark, and so the reason being is it's not connected. The app's not connected to the light strip at the moment via the Bluetooth from the phone to the receiver that's in the glove box. Also, too, if I walk outside, I'm just curious to look in my truck. I'm doing that now. It looks like the light is now actually coming on in the truck. So that's interesting because I haven't really turned it on yet here, but I press in the lower left-hand corner. And now, yes, now in fact, the light strip is coming on in the truck. So the first thing you can see is it's got kind of a color panel. That's the first icon of the lower 5 on the left. And that lets you choose different colors. Now, even though it's a color wheel, I've noticed that, like for example, see I've got 3 greens saved there underneath the color wheel. I've noticed that these don't, it's not fine, real granular. It just doesn't, on the strip itself, have what seems to be that kind of, 16 million or whatever actual color combinations. That's okay. But what I was trying to do is, like, for example, match the green that comes, from Tesla as the default green. I wanted to match that with the strip. And I got close, but it's not an exact match. Most people probably wouldn't notice it just, glancing at it. And then you might see underneath the brightness and how I've got it at 22%. I have noticed that on the strip, depending on how dim or how bright you go, it can actually affect the color of the strip itself. So I'm not sure why that is. It just is. And something like 22% is typically still a little bit brighter than what the Tesla factory one is. And if you crank that baby to 100%, it will be super bright. So anyway, this is where you would select colors. You can save colors, and that's just changing the color itself. The next icon on the lower right is for having the strip match the audio, and you can see that you can use device mic, phone mic, you can do music that's on your phone itself. And then I'm not sure what the representation in the middle where you see it kind of pulsing. I understand the waveform is reacting to my voice right now, so the strip in the car is reacting to my voice using one of the patterns in the quick save. So interesting that the patterns, so like you have energy 1, you have rhythm 1, you have spectrum 1, and those all do different things in the truck. But then you have this configuration amount, and what that configuration amount does, so like right now it's set at 50%, that's how reactive to the audio the lights are. All right, if you have it cranked up to 100%, then, like for example, right now the lights are really hyper reactive to just my voice. But if I crank it, down to say 50%, the lights are less reactive unless my voice gets louder or something of that nature. What it does not do, and I want to be clear about this, it does not change the brightness of the LED strip. And for any of these, so whether it's spectrum, whether it's scroll, whether it's energy 2, et cetera, there's some nice pre-saved ones here. I would have liked the capability of making my own. I also would have liked the capability of making them as bright or as dim as I wanted, because I got to tell you, at night, and I'll show you an example where I recorded YYZ from Rush, and hey, great song, nice to have it in the car, going away, but at nighttime, when that is at full brightness, it's right in your eyes. And I wish there were another setting here, just like there is back on color, that I can take the brightness down to 22%. This brightness has absolutely no effect on the brightness when it is in this kind of animated reacting to sound mode. The next mode just allows you to choose some various different patterns that they have. So these are some animations. Again, maybe would have been nice to do it myself. These you can adjust the brightness on. So if you just simply want something in the car that's animated, but it's not reacting to music at all, it's just an animation playing, you absolutely can control both the speed, that's what this first slider is, where you can make it faster or slower, as well as you can control the brightness. So no problem there. I just, again, really wish back here on the audio ones for music or audio, they would have a brightness control. Then there's some scenes you can choose, like, for example, I want the lights to be, party mode. It's just kind of cycling through different lights and different patterns. I'm not sure who chose these modes or why necessarily. I'm not sure what a lunch break is. Again, might be nice to be able to edit these modes so you can see, well, what exactly is it doing and how fast and how bright, etc. But I see no way of editing these modes. And then last but not least, you have some different items here that reflect the schedules on or off. I haven't really played with the schedules. I haven't necessarily needed to schedule anything on or off, but you can. The other item is the little pencil in the upper right-hand corner. This is the settings where you do need to make one setting to start to get this strip to work correctly, and that's under this pixel setting. You want to set that to 210 and then save it, and then that will properly address the number of pixels that you have in this strip for the Cybertruck. If you don't, then it's probably not going to work right with this app. So this is kind of a quick overview of the app itself. Again, I think the app is fine. You can play around with it. You can get some different views. I really wish just the one thing, though, would be that the animations had the ability to make them not as bright, because I just don't find them useful while you're driving. Absolutely great. Maybe if you're parked at night and you want to have a party in the truck, then knock yourself out. But while you're driving, you're probably not going to want to use those. This is Tesla Ken. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of this software. Okay, just a few final thoughts on this light strip from Hansshow. So first off, do want to thank Hansshow for providing this and giving me the opportunity to test it out, test out the software, document the installation process, and of course, document some of the things about using the software itself. I would say that in terms of like brightness and flexibility and everything, it does provide, some more pizzazz to the interior of the truck. And if you're certainly looking for something like that to spruce it up a little bit, by all means, consider this LED light strip. I also noticed too that if I approach the truck without my phone, then the light strip was not on. But then as I got my phone and got closer to the truck, then it did its whole like light up sequence from one side up to the other. That's when the truck was detecting me via Bluetooth. So at that point, it must be kind of lighting up the USB ports at that point, which then lights up the light itself. So it doesn't stay on 24/7 or anything, but I think I solved why that was coming on. Otherwise, again, if you want to run certain patterns, you can make those brighter or dimmer. If you want to run certain colors, like I'm running an additional green here, again, you can make that brighter or dimmer. It's only the animations that go with music that you can't really control the brightness of. And again, I find maybe a little bit distracting to try to drive at night. But that being said, I do want to thank everyone for tuning into this video. Please do subscribe to our site. You can do that either on the website. It's a form over to the right of the blog article. On a phone, it typically tends to be at the bottom. You scroll down. There's also a subscribe link in the upper right-hand corner. Shouldn't be hard to find. Please just put your email address in there. We're not going to send spam or anything like that. We just send notices of when new articles publish like this one so that you're able to find the new content easily. Again, please subscribe or consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. That does help us with vendors who have certain minimum qualifications until they will work with us. There are a few out there we would still like to work with, but they've got qualifications that we haven't met yet. So if you could help us get there, I would greatly appreciate that, because that would give us a chance to do more articles and do more videos, hopefully helping out the rest of the Cybertruck community out there. So with that, I'll conclude and say thanks again to Hansshow for sending this. I'm Tesla Ken for the HaloCybertruck.com website. Stay tuned.